Today we are covering stakeholder identification and analysis, a critical knowledge area for the PMP exam. Your first step on any project is to figure out who the stakeholders are. And the key output of this process is the Stakeholder Register. The exam will expect you to know that this isn't just a list of names. It's a detailed document that includes identification information, assessment information, and classification. Think of it as your project's directory, constantly updated as new stakeholders emerge or their interests change. A common exam trap is to view this register as a one-and-done document. Remember, it is a living artifact throughout the project. Once you've identified your stakeholders, you must analyze them to prioritize your engagement efforts. The PMP exam will test your knowledge of several key tools for this. First is the Power Interest Grid. This simple 2x2 matrix helps you classify stakeholders to determine your management strategy. Those with high power and high interest must be managed closely. For example, your project sponsor fits here. Stakeholders with high power but low interest need to be kept satisfied. Think of a senior executive in an adjacent department. Those with low power but high interest should be kept informed, like an end-user group. Finally, those with low power and low interest only need to be monitored. A more complex tool is the Salience Model, which classifies stakeholders based on 3 attributes: power, legitimacy, and urgency. The exam might present a scenario where you need to determine which stakeholder requires the most immediate attention. The one possessing all 3 attributes, power, legitimacy, and urgency, is called a definitive stakeholder and should be your top priority. The final tool you must know is the Stakeholder Engagement Assessment Matrix. This is a crucial tool for both planning and monitoring engagement. It maps each stakeholder's current engagement level against their desired engagement level. The 5 levels of engagement are unaware, resistant, neutral, supportive, and leading. An exam question might describe a key department head who is currently resistant but needs to be supportive for the project to succeed. Your job is to create a strategy to close that gap. The biggest exam trap is confusing these tools. Know when to use the Power Interest Grid for initial strategy, the Salience Model for prioritizing, and the Engagement Matrix for planning specific engagement actions. For a simple way to remember the engagement levels, just think of the phrase unusually rude newts support leaders. It's silly, but it maps directly to unaware, resistant, neutral, supportive, and leading. For free practice questions, AI-powered explanations, and more exam prep tools, visit openexamprep.com. That's openexamprep, all one word, .com.